Hi Chewies, and welcome to another episode of How to Paint a Blood Raven's Captain. Where we last left off, where this stage here, we have painted the face and the sword and all the other details here. This is how the backpack looks right now. And so we will go on now with highlighting the cloak. If you want, you could leave it like this, but I wanted to have it even more highlighted. And for that instance, I used the same mixture out of Caltham Brown and Deneb Stone and added a little bit white to it. And now I will apply another highlight layer to give it a little bit more three-dimensional look. I won't highlight every part, just the outstanding top parts. Here, for example, this fold is here inside. I will leave like that. Just the big panel lines like this here. So, just like that. And when you're wondering what kind of brush I'm using, this is here a colibri brush, size 2, but you could also use a base coat brush. That's basically the same size. So like that. So I will finish the robe now with this technique and be right back. Chewies, that's how it looks after this stage. And now it's time for the next stage. And I have added even more white. So, and now I'm just picking out the middle lines here. Like that. So here the top lines. Just with the side of the brush. And remember, you can always flip your miniature upside down if it is better to paint in that angle. You're not stuck at the same angle every time you paint. That's the main reason why I always use a handle for my miniature, because I have a better handling over the miniature in general. So here the top parts where the light most hitting. So, and now it's time for the final highlights. And for this I'm adding even more white to the mixture. You can see here I started at this color and worked my way up. So, also add a little bit of water for a better workflow. Adjusting the color on a piece of paper, and then I'm going back to the miniature. Here a little line, there a little line. Just painting in some nice highlights. Here and there. And then we are good to go. Okay, you got the general idea of what I'm talking about here. Yeah, the top part of the shoulder, like that. And I think the robe is done that way. Okay, now it's up for finalizing the last details on the miniature. So for example here the purity seals. I won't show you this on camera. I have shown this several times in other Space Marine videos. I will edge highlight the bolter here. And well, this I will all do off camera. The thing what I will definitely show you is how to paint this banner. And that's where I'll be back in a second. Oh, now it's time to get our attention to the banner. I want the banner background to be black. So very carefully paint around all the detail on the banner in Chaos Black. You need a good pointy edge on your brush so you don't paint over the edges. That's very important because we want this eagle to be in yellow, and well, obviously it's very bad to paint over black. So I will finish now the black paint job here and be right back. Okay, the banner is black now, and what I'm going to do now is undercoating the eagle in London Dark Sun. Simply painting it on. It should cover quite well, like you see. I will finish this, and oh, by the way, this scroll here I will also undercoat in Bestial Brown, and the surrounding I will undercoat in Macrad Red. Be right back. Okay, cubies, so does the banner look after the undercoating, and I've went ahead and painted the pipes here that hold the banner in bolt gunmetal. And what I will do now is paint the eagle in golden yellow. Just brush slightly over it so that in the recesses the London Dark Sun will stay. And so we get our first yellow highlight. Like that. So, and now we take a little bit of white into our yellow. Just a tiny little bit. To get a brighter variant. And we are doing basically the same. As you can see, the brush, I have flattened the brush tip now. And slightly going over the yellow surface. It's almost like dry brushing. Very gently, barely touching. Okay, and I believe for the eagle that's enough. So what I will do now is make a 50-50 mix out of Bestial Brown and Bleached Bone. For our Parchment. So. And our Bestial Brown gives a good undercoat for that. So in the recesses I will leave the Bestial Brown as a shadow. So there's nothing different than painting the parchment paper from a purity seal. Just highlighting with Bleached Bone now. So next step, even more Bleached Bone into the color. So. that way we get a nice three-dimensional look of this scroll. Now we take pure bleach bond. So, like that. Okay, and now our final highlight with a little bit of white into the bleach bone. And we are done. So, I guess I will leave the panel like this. And the red needs no highlight here, it's fine like that. And also the black I wouldn't highlight. So, and I guess that means that our miniature is completely painted now. So, let's have a look. Attaching the backpack. Okay, yeah, I think he looks nice. So, now we want to have a nice base. Well, obviously he is a little bit too big for his base. Well, from a gaming point of view, it's better to have a small base, but I think I will give him a bigger base. And for that instance, I have previously glued in a stone on a 40mm base. And we will attach him there. So, good for me, I haven't glued him in. So, I will cut away now this piece here. And, well, first we will take a look at the base. So, I will go ahead and spray prime the base in the same gray spray primer I've used for the miniature. This is from Army Painter Uniform Grey. So, I'm back in a second. Okay, that's how the shield base looks after the priming. And what I will do now is dry brush the surface with a 50-50 mixture out of Codex Grey and Skull White. Just simply dry brush the whole surface and bring out all the nice textures. Okay, now we will add a little bit more white to the mix. It's almost pure white now. So, very gently dry brushing the top. And I guess, yeah, that's nice. Okay, what I will do now is I use pigments, and for that instance I use here my trusty pigment palette. I will use now a mixture out of the burnt umber and the red ochre that's here. Add water to it to reanimate the pigments. So, but you could also use fresh pigments. So, I'm going over the surface with this and making this a nice reddish stony look. So, underneath. And then I will use, where we have it. There we have it. Dark yellow ochre pigment. Just place it directly with the brush onto the surface here. Now with a wet brush, dab of water here, and I'm dabbing this pigment right into the surface and mixing the pigments directly here on the surface. So back a little bit of the reddish ones. So okay, that's the look I was looking for. And what I will do now is take a piece of paper and I'm dabbing it onto the surface, and that will create a very interesting texture to the whole rock. So I leave that to dry now. I will then add some sand here, and I'm back in a second. The stone is dry now, and now it's time to add some sand, and for that instance I use simply white glue, dabbing it on the surface that need to be sanded, and then I use my trusty little sandbox here and pulling it over. So, and for those of you that keep asking me what kind of sand I'm using, you see this is a variant. It's a mixture out of several different sands. That is some big sand with some rocks in it. Then I use a birdcage sand. That is very fine sand. I can show you here. So that's how birdcage sand looks like. And also I have from Army Painter here this light sand in it. This here, very uniform sand. The middle size sand. And well, the big rocks here you can find in the sand. You can normally find in every well, children's sandbox out there. Just take a little bit home and you're good to go. This amount of sand will last you for almost a whole game of life. So, unless you're wanting to create terrain pieces, then you will need much more sand. Also here, it's good advice to go with the finger around the edge of the base to clear off any sand that's here on the side. So now we have sanded that part, and now we need to give it a little bit color, and for that instance I use simply Devlin Mud Wash. So just grab your pot and then slightly, very gently dabbing the wash on. So, and also you could give that wash here and there a little bit on the rock surface. That will increase the look of a natural rock, sandstone of some sort. So here and there a little bit. So now I will paint the base corner in black, and then we are done. I will show you now the end result in a second with the captain attached. Oh, by the way, tubies, before I forget it, I want to show you how to inscribe here something on the banner. For that instance, I use here a pencil, adding 1800 Profi Pen 0.1. And now I'm writing directly on the banner. Ta-da! The banner is finished. So, and there we have him, the final model. Zip. I hope you liked this tutorial about the Blood Ravens Captain. One of my longest tutorials, when not the longest tutorial ever. So, for those of you that want to have here Blood Raven decals, well, from Games Workshop there are no decals for them, but you can download them from Daka. There they have in the forum, there they have a decal sheet that you can download, and you can print with a laser printer on a decal transfer sheet, and then you can create this way your own decals. But I don't have them, and that way, well, no decal. Yeah, that's it. We see us in the next video. You're Alexandra.